your town. They have arrived. What? They're all around. So many aliens living in your town.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Weird Whatever podcast. Was I talking right when the podcast started again? Like, hey, Dennis, what's going on here? It's not a podcast if we don't start it off very sloppy.
It's a pretty solid song. I don't think we give that song enough props. I love that song.
Well, good. I'm glad you like it, Mr. Beckett. We'll email it to you.
There's a YouTube video, too.
Yeah, it's got, I think, 11 views. Hello, how's everybody doing today? Ryan, Mr. Beckett?
Good. Just a little tired. It's that time of year. A lot of stuff going on. A lot of bugs rolling around in terms of the flu and everything. So I'm just trying to stay resilient.
Oh, man.
Vicky, you being an educator, how do you dodge flu constantly? Because every time we do our Kids World event, I get some type of child flu, and it lasts a good 5 days.
Yeah. Well, you kind of build an immunity to it. I always like run in the opposite direction when you hear on the walkie, we have a cleanup with the chips in the cafeteria or wherever. Chips, that means they puked.
They threw up.
Yeah. And the
Yeah.
chip smell is almost as bad as the puke smell.
Especially if it's like some sort of like cheddar harvest.
Ugh. And Denny's, you beautiful soul, how are you?
Doing well.
Okay, well, let's jump right into it. I got a couple emails about karma. I know we've delved in a little bit with karma. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Karma, is it a real thing? Is this something that is this something humans have to tell themselves that it's real just so they can feel better? Or is it just sometimes an evil person gets away with bloody murder till the day they die, and that's just the way it goes sometimes? Vicky, let's start with you.
I mean, I think it is. I believe in karma, but I think it's more from an energy standpoint. You get what you give. So if you give negative and nasty, and that's what's going to come back to you.
Do you think, though, sometimes it is something that humans have to tell themselves just to be able to get through the night?
Yeah, because sometimes it seems like karma is a really slow
Or it does.
person showing up. I mean, sometimes she takes her sweet time. But I always tell people who are in that situation and they're really frustrated about it, I'm like, listen, we may not be able to see it, but trust me, if it's not here, it's on the other side. They're going to get it.
Because I think some people do see that or feel that where they've got a son of a bitch in their life where it just seems nothing will go wrong and they end up dying kind of unscathed. You would understand why they'd have that perception of, I don't know if karma does work.
Right.
Mr. Beckett?
I don't know. I really like Buddhism, but I don't know if I think of it as like a Buddhism type thing in terms of karma. I just think, they say like hard work, you create your own luck. I think by doing things that are morally corrupt, that you create a higher probability that bad things happen for you.
But when you get into the moral concept of things, that's where it's different for every single person, and that's why it gets a little messy. Because what you may deem as moral, Denny's would say, well, that has nothing to do with morals.
Right. That's probably true.
Yeah. What? No, I'm not saying that.
I get what you're saying.
You're saying that Denny's has looser morals than
Not
I?
at all.
And that might be true.
That's not at all what I meant. I hope you know
I
that.
get it.
I was just using you as an example. Denny's, you got the floor.
Yeah. So karma.
What are
There's
your
things I like about karma for sure.
Okay.
And I do believe, like Vicky touched upon, that energies, if you put out negative energies, I feel like more negative energy is attracted to that. Positive would also attract positive energy. I think karma and the saying, the way we use it now especially, how like, oh, karma's a bitch, karma will get you, whatever, is very much playing on like the heaven and hell. Like you do something bad, ultimately, like whether they get it in this lifetime or the next, there is the next phase where they could be punished. I think that's a comfort thing for a lot of people to know that there is vengeance. And I guess vengeance is pretty strong, but like just that you got something back from it.
Well, you ever have that where you're in a relationship with somebody and they break your heart or they dump you and you're like, you know what? One of these days it'll come back on them. They'll get theirs. That's just because your butt hurt.
Yeah, it just makes you feel better.
Yeah, because they didn't like you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, and it's sad, but there's a lot of injustices that go on every single day that you're like, all right, where's karma then?
Where do they get there? Yeah, that's a great point. Mr. Beckett, you wanted to talk about self-help versus what, ghosts?
Just like paranormal. Like I don't really know anything about it. I do know, I'm the kind of guy I get sucked into those Tony Robbins type stuff.
The positive speaking.
Positive
Yeah.
stuff and, after, whatever it is, I'm always looking for different ways and angles to improve myself. as a person. And that said, I guess maybe it would be a good question for Vicky and to see what you guys think about it as well. Is there a way to use a lot of the stuff that we're talking about for self-help? When I say self-help, just making yourself a better person, like whether that's working out your own demons or becoming more spiritual or having that communication with the other side or whatever that looks like. It is more a very like general question.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem like we ever talk about that, because there's usually a way to find something that everyone can take that makes you a better person in a lot of different areas.
Go ahead, Vicky.
Well, I can actually relate to that because when I first figured out that I could give readings and that I had a gift, it was a time period where once I figured that out and I started doing it and interacting with people, I lost 40 pounds and I wasn't hungry. Don't know why. And people who have known me for years said that's the happiest they ever saw me. And people said it's because I was doing what I was supposed to do, and I had so much protection and positive spirits around me that I absorbed that.
It's like karma.
Oh, look at that. Tying it all
Full
around.
circle.
Bring it back.
What, you want to add on to that, Denny's?
Yeah, so I'm trying to think like the tie between the paranormal to the self-help. Self-help, in my opinion, like you said, is just things to better improve your life, whether it's the quality of life or how you're doing things or longevity, whatever you're going for. For paranormal, or are you saying in a sense like that there could be answers out there?
Well, okay, for example, if I was struggling, and there was a time in my life I was struggling a little bit with faith, and I know sometimes people clap back, well, how can you struggle with faith? I think that's a normal thing. I think whether you are born in a very big religious household, or if you're not, I think if you do believe in the afterlife or whatever, you do question things sometimes. And I know for me, from my personal experiences, things that have happened with my mom after she had passed on that I can't explain, things that have happened with ghosts that I've felt or have seen that I can't explain, to me personally proved to me that there's something else other than the plane that we're on. Now, I think it has to happen to somebody personally for them to really get that. And if you're a person that's never had that happen, you're like, all right, I just can't feel you on that. But when you do have something where I feel like I've communicated with my mom after she passed on, that does help me spiritually and in kind of a self-help way, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so you feel like it's moved the ball down the field, so to speak, for you to be open to things as it relates to your mom, whether it's talking to Vicky about something, but to investigate that rather than shut it off has been better for you.
Beneficial.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm a person, since I was a kid, I've always wanted something bigger than this earth. I've always wanted to believe in the magical side of just everything, whether it's Bigfoot or aliens or
Santa Claus, all that.
Santa Claus, heaven, all of that. So I've always wanted that. And I still look at the world. I mean, people thought I was a pothead when I was 5 just because I was always, why are there rocks? Why is the earth? I'm still fascinated by this earth. And I think when you can still stay fascinated and still have a spiritual experience like I've had with my mom after, I think you start to believe in that stuff. And I do think that helps with self-help.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Anything else you want to touch upon that?
No, that's it. It's great.
Denny's, you want to go into some lucid dreaming? You got some factoids?
Oh yeah,
over
so
there?
we've talked about lucid dreaming before, and I found this cool article. I've been on this Stumble Upon, man. That thing is the bomb. I'm not trying to, they don't pay me money or anything. But.
For people who don't know what Stumble Upon is, what is that?
So all it is an app that you can just click, and it brings you to random generated sites based on your interest. So it'll steer you in things that you do like. If you do like it, you can upvote it, and then you'll see more things in that genre.
You would like it because I have found a lot of sex robot articles on Stumble Upon.
Really?
Yeah, I have.
So it has you fill out a whole thing, and it takes all of your interests, whatever algorithm it uses.
How'd
And,
you find the app?
Bird, he stumbled upon it.
Don't even remember that.
But you find cool stuff like this. They have a lot of like science articles, which is why I think you'd like it.
Yeah.
It's like a jumble of just weird topics.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's random websites.
Sounds like
And
it'd
this
be my
one,
wheelhouse.
well, this guy wrote a 6-step easy process to quickly start lucid dreaming, and it all makes sense and it's not difficult. In fact, we could all practice this.
Okay.
Do you want to lucid dream, Vicky?
Sure. I'm wondering the fine line between, because I fantasize all the time in my head. So I'm wondering the fine line between what's considered my fantasies in lucid dreaming.
So this is a technique where it is kind of like a daydreaming, but while sleeping, you actually there's a couple steps that I'll go over.
Well,
but
how would you define lucid dreaming? For
a dream that you're aware that you're in a dream.
But you are actually sleeping, though, correct?
You're dreaming.
Okay.
You're in a dreamlike state. You can be lost in thought and totally drift off to where you're no longer.
But that's a daydream, isn't that different?
That's a daydream for sure. Lucid dream is a dream that you are aware of. You're in a dream, and most likely you can control it. There's a couple, weaning into doing the practicing. You'd have to do it a couple times to get good at it, but try it out. The first step is actually just to think about lucid dreaming, just to get yourself psyched about it.
Just have like a pump up heart, like, yeah, lucid dreaming, yeah, I love this shit.
Well, it says doing your research on it will also make you more aware of it. But you're right, yeah, get yourself
pumped up. I get
pumped
it,
up.
man. Yeah.
And then they have a practice called reality checks, and you do these during the day. Throughout the day, you can fit like up to 30 of them.
Give
in a
us an
day.
example.
Well, a reality check, it says hold out your hand and try to push your fingers through it. And when you don't, say, all right, so I am awake. That's all you got to do.
All right, I am awake.
And the reason that you do this is so when you get, all right, well, I see
Whoa, man, this is deep.
I might be losing Beckett over here, but well, so the reason
You're losing Beckett, but you are keeping the potheads, man.
well, you want to do that so that you can recognize whether you're in a dream.
I
or
get
not.
it. I feel you, man.
To get you used to that sensation. It says to do it a lot, or you can set up your own style reality checks. In fact, if you think about the movie Inception, how they were talking about they have their item,
Their dreidel.
exactly how they
Or the
can,
little top he had, yeah.
to recognize whether they're in a dream or not. So I mean, it kind of does make sense. It also says, and this should be done anyway, not to tell anyone how to live their lives. I mean, every man can do what they want, man or woman, but. Turn off all your screens before you go to bed, at least an hour.
I feel it too, man. If I just keep my laptop, sometimes I'll keep my laptop on to have the thunder on, but it'll still flash and do all kind of crazy shit. I can feel the heat of the computer.
Well, what happens is your body will secrete a hormone when it's dark to put you to bed and get you ready for REM sleep. Well, when you have a TV on, that low light fools your body and it secretes the hormone much slower.
When you secrete it, is it damp?
Get out of here.
No, I'm not.
What kind of dreams are you having, man?
Isn't that,
science, bitch.
isn't that called a nocturnal emission?
Yeah.
Well, anyway, so the hormone, just turn it off before you go
Got
to
it,
bed.
all right.
So you want to set an alarm. This is a pretty important part. You want to set an alarm 2 hours before you would normally wake up.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know, but it's part of the tactic. And what it is to wake you up momentarily, and then you turn off your alarm, and then you go back, and you can easily fall back into a REM sleep because you just broke the cycle, and you'll be more lucid because you woke up your mind, but your body, if you can keep your body awake, what you have to do is practice keeping your body awake when your mind shuts back down.
Vicky, do you want to wake up 2 hours early before school?
I already wake up several times during the night, so
I do
don't have to
too.
set an alarm.
I honestly wake up once per hour at least.
Yeah, I'm surprised when I actually sleep. Like last night, I slept until the alarm went off. That's very unusual.
And I constantly wake up. My sheet, what happens, it turns me into a human burrito. I wake up and my entire sheet wraps me up. I'm always on. That's another. I digress. Go ahead. go ahead, Denny's.
So the key is 2 hours. The alarm goes off. You have to keep your eyes closed, reach over, turn off your alarm, and then you lay back down. So that's important, 2 hours before you normally wake up. But you wake up your eyes with your eyes closed, and that helps you stay in there. And then the last step, honestly, is just lay there frozen. Don't move your body. You'll feel the hormones secrete, start paralyzing you, and you go into
Wow,
lucid.
we got to stop talking about secreting. I don't.
You don't think that's cool? You don't want to try that out?
No, I do. I want to secrete all through the night, baby. I do. But I already do lucid dreaming.
You're not in control.
There are some dreams. I would say not every dream, but every 1 out of 8 dreams, I without a doubt am in control and I know what's going on.
Yeah, I've made decisions in my dreams too, and in my dreams, I'm saying, I know this is a dream, but this is what I want to do.
So
Yeah.
it
I
can
have
happen
done it.
naturally. There's
Yeah.
nothing in the rule books that says all the.
It does happen naturally, and I don't know why some nights it does and some nights it does not.
You got to practice it. That way you can control it.
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
Reality
Nights you have
check.
less to secrete, I guess. I don't know.
I feel like I would secrete a lot. I don't know. I toss and turn a lot. What are your guys' thoughts on this? All the hype on this blood moon? I don't know. I think it's
The
so,
super blue blood moon.
I think it's so weak.
It's cool. It's
Well, we
since
didn't really get it over
since
here.
the 1800s. It's the first time it's happened.
But they always brag about these super moons. And Vicky, did you? I mean, you being an educator, I'm sure you know the most about the moon here.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful moon. I'm not downing that it
Right.
wasn't a great moon, but when you're hyping it up on social media that it's the super blood moon, I'm expecting that son of a bitch to bleed blood.
It's 3 different types of like occurrences.
It's the eclipse. It was blue moon, right?
Blue moon, and then or was that there's one other moon. It was 3.
Anytime I talk shit about the moon, I always get one email. I can't believe you don't know
Well,
about.
we didn't really get it on the East Coast here. California, I heard
hear
it was
you.
fantastic.
I get it, but the moon that people need to talk about. I remember I was about 20 years old and I had no idea what the hell was going on. I made a left-hand turn on to Holly Drive in Palm Beach Gardens, and I almost drove into the moon that was coming out of the ground. I thought it was end of times. I had never seen a moon like that. What is that? A harvest moon? What is that?
I
What
don't
that
know, was it orangey?
It was orange, but it was huge coming out of the ground. It didn't look real.
It just must have been close to the Earth.
Oh, dude, it was. I've never seen anything like that. Every time I talk about that moon, no one ever gets excited about it. No one knows what
I
I'm
love when
talking
the moon's
about.
big, man. That's like my favorite.
I just don't think I'm explaining it right. This thing was coming out of the ground.
yeah, I hear you. It was like setting.
It was huge.
All right.
Vicky, are you ready for your 30-second story?
Okay, well, like I said before the podcast, this was very difficult for me because it takes a lot to scare me.
Okay.
So this is not scary to me. And I only had 30 seconds, which I think I went like 8 seconds
That's
over
fine.
last
Those are
time I said
guidelines.
something.
Oh, it's all good. So what we're
Guidelines.
going to do is we're going to do one story per podcast. You are going to start this baby off because you know about ghosts and scary things.
Yeah, well, like I said, it's okay. It's
Okay.
called
Do you need any? Do we have to do any old school radio where we? There's a ghost.
I don't think so.
Okay, then
I don't think
acapella.
so.
Yeah.
All right, it's called Helen.
Ooh.
Helen couldn't figure out why she was missing chunks of time from her day. What were these strange symbols someone carved on her front door? Most importantly, where were those voices coming from? Have new neighbors moved in? Or worse, were the voices all in her head? She tried sleeping that night, but the voices wouldn't stop. Helen walked to the bathroom to splash cold water on her face. Suddenly, someone whispers, "Helen," in her ear. Terrified, she slowly lifts her head to peer at her reflection in the mirror. Standing beside her was a creature from the very depths of hell. It leans in closely and whispers, "You're mine now, Helen."
Damn,
It's heavy.
it is heavy. Denny, any follow-up questions?
I thought that was good.
Very
I was
good.
captivated.
I think we're just gonna stop the contest. You win. I don't want to follow Helen.
Yeah, no, that was creepy. I was intrigued the whole time.
Mr. Beckett, do you are you ready for next week? Because you will be next week.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I have a little twist for you.
Oh, little M. Night Shyamalan.
Well,
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I think you
All
guys
right.
will be. It'll be scary for sure.
Very, very.
All
very
right,
cool.
I like it.
Very, very.
What's the inspiration for yours, Bird?
I'm not telling yet because I haven't done mine yet. What are your guys' thoughts on are humans born good or bad? If you just if we're not talking about any kind of teaching at the core essence of a human, is it different for everybody? What are your guys' thoughts on that? Or is it always something where teaching is part of your behavior? Let's start off with you, Vicky.
That's like twice tonight you started off with me.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
I believe that people who are who they are, you know, and I think I've mentioned it before on other podcasts, you know, the whole nature versus nurture and this, that, and the other. I think that if you're evil, I think you were evil from the beginning.
You're born evil. You don't
I
that-
think that there are people. Now, I'm talking the extreme. I'm not talking about the people who, like certain people in my life, I know that there was a certain event in their life that changed the course of their personality and what they have done. But certain people, like serial killers and people like that who have the need to kill and to do things like that, I think they were born that way.
Someone like a Charles Manson, who was literally just
Right.
brought up from the day he could conceive a thought, was beaten, his mom was a prostitute. He was never set up to win.
Right.
If you change that dynamic, you bring him into a house where it's loving and it's caring and they raise him right, is it a completely different Charles Manson in the end?
Well, look at how many people were brought. Okay, let's take Bundy, for example. Single mom. How many people are raised by single moms? Okay, why don't all the other people kill multiple victims.
Well, you could argue something did happen in his childhood. Now, of course, this does not make an excuse to kill anybody, but when he was growing up, he thought that his sister, or I'm sorry, his mother the whole time was his sister,
Right.
and there was a bit of a lie going on with his mom and all that, which made him think, oh my gosh, women are liars. That might have rocked him. That does not make it
Right.
excusable.
Haven't they done some studies though where they've taken like brains of people who committed murders and things like that and studied them, and there was something that was different about them?
With every brain though.
I don't know with every one, but I'm saying I know that they've done studies. Right?
Totally, yeah.
So, do you think it's a combination of they're born evil and the behavior? And
I think that there's probably something wrong with their genetic makeup that causes it, and then the catalyst might be an experience that they happen.
Overall-
and maybe if they went down this path, it wouldn't, but they still had that in there, just like they say that people are born with like the gene for alcoholism. Well, if you never take a drink, that gene never comes to light. So it could be that they're born with something and
then they never
then
actually-
they never do it because there isn't that catalyst, but that has to be present in the first place. I
Okay.
don't think if there's nothing wrong with you and you had a wonderful childhood, blah 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 blah, and you end up killing, there was something wrong with your brain to begin with.
If you're born evil, if you are just truly born evil and there's something seriously wrong with you, is it your fault? And
Well, if they can trace it to actual genetic reason, then no.
let's say you're born evil and you just all of a sudden you're born
Right.
as a murderer. It's going to be hard for that person to ever get sympathy. But if they were born in a way they could not control and then they couldn't help it, and I'm not saying that's what happens. I'm just playing devil's advocate here. Wouldn't you say that that's like a disease at that point, and
Well,
you would
it-
have sympathy for someone who does have one?
It's like a disease, but it's also, I put it more in the tendency category, like you would an alcoholic. So you may have been born with this tendency, but you have to have self-control in order to not drink. So if you're born with that tendency, you have to have that self-control to squash it.
What are your thoughts, Beckett?
Yeah, so I'm going to agree with Vicky at the end of that. So I agree. There's some people, to use a health connotation like alcoholism, some people smoke a pack a day for their whole life and never develop lung cancer. But some people have genetics where they smoke for 5 years and develop lung cancer. Now, if they never smoked those cigarettes, they wouldn't have happened, but they are more genetically predisposed to get lung cancer. And I think to answer your question, like the alcoholic, people view that as disease and have sympathy, but if they beat their wife or kill someone when they were drunk, it's not an excuse.
Exactly.
To your point. So you have to know you are, and if you get pissed off really easy because you're genetically angry and blah blah blah, you probably shouldn't work in a job where you're really going to get pissed off really easily.
Or you should never drink.
Never drink alcohol, things like that. I do think that, generally speaking, without the anomalies of serial killer genes and stuff like that, I think that people are born innocent, and I think that, in my opinion, the human race kind of corrupts that a little bit. Like
So the whole Charles Manson example I threw, if he lives in a loving household his entire life, completely different cat.
Yeah, I think it's like he had the genes, like we were talking about, to continue the analogy. His situation was that cigarette, or cigarettes to develop the lung cancer. You know what I mean? I always say when people talk to me about being plant-based and eating meat being an instinct, I said, well, put a baby in the crib with an apple and a bunny rabbit and let me know when that little baby, eats the bunny rabbit and plays with the apple. So in terms of being instinctual, like it's more instinctual to be nice to things. It's more instinctual to not have hate and racism and prejudice and stuff like that. I think those are all learned traits.
Yeah, I always feel like if you got into a serial killer's head and said, "Look, man, do you want to feel peace and love, or would you rather keep going on this horrible murder spree that you want to keep, filling up on?"
Right.
I think at the end of the day, if they could have the real choice of peace, there's no way they'd pick evil, right? Don't people always want to pick peace? If they truly could get peace, I think sometimes serial killers, they're so far gone, they don't think they could ever achieve it.
I think my opinion is 99.9% of the people But what was that movie? Was it Batman? Some people just want to see the world
Yeah,
burn.
man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that because they were born that way, or
Yeah.
they were bred that way?
I think there's a kindling. There's the powder keg, so to speak, of the genetics and everything like that, and then the situations can trigger that.
I'm with Vicky on the sense that I think it's chemical imbalance. I think when you're born, you might have a chemical. Everybody's born different. There's so many different genetic maps for every sort of person.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
going to be all different combinations going on in your brain. So you might have an enlarged region, which you feel that whatever that region is more profoundly than somebody else. So if somebody's like predisposed already to have aggression, and then tragic things happen in their lives, I feel like that could cause somebody to go overboard and become a killer of some sort. But also, if a person that didn't have a chemical imbalance with aggression and had that same situation, say a terrible upbringing with a prostitute mom, like the standard story,
yeah.
and they become an emo artist and they express it differently, it's because they didn't have the chemical imbalance of the aggression or whatever.
We talked a little bit about it last week, how there's a lot of people who are psychopaths, but they're not violent. They're not going to go out and kill, but they will do stuff in their life to screw people over where you're like, I can't believe a human would ever do something like that. And those are people you work with.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
horrifying. And it's not
It's
necessary.
just they have a different balance of chemicals in their brain than you do.
They're not going to stab you with a knife, but they're going to stab you in a different way.
Totally, I think chemical imbalances can go in any direction.
Yeah,
It's like if you
man.
have a super introvert, I mean, there's just they have a different chemical onset in their brain.
And it's hard to get the real version of someone, I think, too. I mean, no one walks into work naked. Like, everyone has their metaphorical or real clothes, that they bring into public. And I think that with that, you just have people that, like you can date someone for a really long time and not know they're having a whole affair and a whole other family. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah.
You never really know.
I really honestly believe somebody can snow you. I mean, they can really fool who they are for at least 5 years. I really do believe that. I used to think it was 2. I used to think, oh yeah, after 2 years you'll see every side. Nah, I think someone can hold
Is
off.
5 years your longest relationship?
That's about the time. That's accurate.
Yeah. Yeah. What do I sound like? I'm speaking from experience.
I know a guy.
Yeah, it's my friend scenario.
I just feel like we're conditioned to be like that, though, to have like a hard exterior, to go out there. And so, like, if you think something's funny, you should be able to just laugh at it and everything should be fun. Or somebody stumbles and they're like, oh, darn, and it's like funny thing. Everybody should laugh at that. But like we're told to be like, it's cool not to laugh. So you like train your body to do these things that you're not supposed to really do. You really should express how you feel at all times, and it would alleviate a lot of problems.
And but the reason why people don't always express themselves is because people are so afraid of the backlash. When you have a different opinion on anything with the masses, if you
Oh.
do, it takes a certain type of person that's able to
to
handle
deal with it.
about the backlash of the entire herd. And
Well-
people are so afraid to speak on how they feel about things because,
You're bearing your soul.
yeah, and,
And it's embarrassing if somebody doesn't agree with you.
people don't like to be embarrassed. That's a tough
That's
thing.
the ultimate fear of most people.
Well, at the end of the day, we're pack animals, right? We talked about this before. What's the worst punishment for a human?
Isolation.
Isolation. And that, like in prison, getting put in the hole. That's literally the worst thing you can do a human. So that said, we're obviously pack animals.
Yes, we need people who say that they don't need acceptance, they need it to a certain extent almost.
I think everybody craves
Yeah.
it. It's one of the baser needs.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not again, that's one of those things where one person may need so much acceptance and then some person just needs a little
They
bit.
don't need as much.
Like we were talking earlier.
Well, some people
Everyone's different.
Some people can feed on negative stuff. It's just the fact that they're getting the attention, like the
Well,
actually.
totally. They'll
That's
take
what
it
social media
in
is.
any dose possible.
Some people need that positive. Like if anyone comments negative, it like really hits them. And some people like being controversial.
Yeah.
Because that's
They
like
like
their
the
stick.
spike.
Right?
That's their shtick.
Yeah.
Some people do like drama. I remember a girl I was dating. The problem was that she was presenting in our relationship was, we just don't have any problems. We never fight about anything, and that was the problem, which then led to a
There
problem.
just had to be drama of some sort.
That's insane to me.
Yeah.
That is insane. Oh, you're struggling with being peaceful?
Yeah,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh, God forbid that.
Yeah. It was actually a certain scenario I had in a relationship where the girl was trying to make me jealous in this scenario.
Games.
Right?
Yeah, but-
and in that scenario, I wasn't jealous, right? I wasn't mad in that scenario for the reason she intended, but I was mad because she was trying to make me jealous, and that pissed me off.
Well, because you saw through it was so transparent. The game was so wiggity whack. You couldn't respect
You can't
it.
even
Totally.
deal with
Yeah,
it.
I get it. If you're gonna do those games, make them good to where you can't see that it's a game that they're playing.
Oh no, I dated.
fool
I
me.
don't know what's worse though. I dated a girl like that too. That's a total mind f.
But if she's fooling you, hey, good job.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That's like the smart crazy. It's like that Ben Affleck movie with that Gone Girl. Was that Gone Girl? That
Yeah.
Movie? Like at the end, I didn't know if I was really attracted to that girl or thought she was scary.
She's pretty terrible.
She's really terrible, but
I
she's
just-
really smart about it.
I just don't get people that. I guess I do get the psychology behind trying to make somebody jealous. How are you a jealous person, Vicky, by nature?
Yes.
I think everybody is at some point. I really
Yes.
do.
I think they're jealous
I
about
am.
things they care about.
What makes you? How do you know that you're a jealous woman?
Because I could knock someone's head off if they're looking at somebody when they're not supposed to.
What? Okay, are you over the top jealous, or do you think?
No, I keep it in.
Because I think we all are jealous to a certain extent, but it's how you handle that jealousy. Do you fly off the handle and go?
No,
go
mine's the quiet one. You know, where I'm just holding it in and I'm thinking all these lucid dreaming thoughts of what I'm going to do to them.
What would make you jealous in a relationship?
Someone, like if I were to find somebody, you know, if they were talking to somebody else or, you know, giving somebody else other, you know, attention when they're not supposed to.
And to me, that's legit.
Yeah, I mean,
Well
that calls
earned
for it.
jealousy. That's rational jealousy.
I think there's
Totally.
healthy jealousy too. Like there's there's healthy anger. There's healthy like.
Well, if you care about something, you don't want
totally.
anyone jumping
Like
on
I actually like jealousy. I'm on maybe on the other end of the spectrum because I actually like jealousy sometimes because it's so often the case. I'm not a serial monogamist. Like I'm just as happy being in a serious relationship as I am being single. I think that's healthy. But if I'm jealous, it means I care, right? And I kind of like that feeling because I never really feel that, right? And
Yeah.
it's like a little passion that I have. Like in lacrosse, I'll give an example. Maybe I talked to you about this. Because I play defense, if a guy was really nice to me in the beginning of the game, like shook my hand, asked me about my high school or my college, it's the worst thing that could happen for my game. Because then I would just be a lot more passive and non-competitive like usually. And the best thing that could ever happen is that guy was a jerk. You know, you like play dirty
So
a
you,
little
like,
bit.
F 'em.
And then I get pissed off, you know, because lacrosse is a contact sport, and I would have the best game of my career because the guy was a jerk. So I think that sometimes you can channel negative emotion
Oh.
to positive things.
I completely,
totally.
I completely agree. I just hate when I am feeling jealousy. I feel like I'm failing as a human.
It's
When
embarrassing.
when I'm feeling it. Yeah, because I don't always act on it, and someone may not even know that I'm jealous. But the fact that I'm going through it, I know that I'm having, and I feel like, Bird, what are you doing?
There's
man?
a couple painful emotions out there. Like
That's-
shame is super painful as
shame's
well.
tough, man.
Jealousy's a rough one.
Don't you think jealousy and insecurity, I mean, it's semantics, but you don't think it's a fine line? Like maybe it might be a more insecurity
Oh.
than it is a jealousy?
I think it's both. I think
they're cousins.
I think they're without a doubt related to one another.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
every human walking this planet is insecure about something.
Totally.
I know I'm not secure about everything in my life.
Right.
I don't think everyone in this room is either.
If you feel like you could lose something, that's where the jealousy comes
It,
from.
it always comes back down to Empire Strikes Back. It always does. Losing something. I won't delve into any of that.
I got to tell me about that after the podcast.
No, it's yeah, but no, jealousy is one of those ones that I like when people are honest about their insecurities. I asked Vicky, "You jealous?" "Oh yeah, I'll knock someone's head off."
But I mean, that's just a hard exterior you put out there to block your insecurities.
But you're not a very emotional dude, at least not on the outside. You walk into your room or you walk into your place, and Jen, your fiance, is massaging another guy's shoulders. What's your level? 5 being real jealous, 1 being it's not that big of a deal.
So at first, I would have to assess what's happening.
It's a guy she just. He's a new teacher.
I
He's-
get it. All right. So all the qualifications.
all the qualifications to make it the worst possible scenario.
So I do not like uncomfortableness. So I will try to approach it immediately, just because I'd rather get it over with. So I would open up with a line like, "What's going on in here, you guys?"
So you would deflect with humor.
Always deflect with humor at first. I always put my feelers out first to test the waters, because I always, like I said, I always try to remember my ABCs. Just always be cool, man. There's a way to like analyze it and figure it out. So
Oh man, I would so handle that so differently.
How would you handle it?
Would you go in there
What the
raging?
shit is going on? You're massaging him in my own damn home? Okay, I would be.
I'd have to see like what if she's like, yeah, we were just bored and decided to massage each other. I'd be like, all right, that's weird.
Oh,
just out of nowhere, you guys are massaging each other.
Maybe I'm too psycho, but if I had a girlfriend and I walk in and she's massaging another guy and her excuse was we're just gonna massage each other, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can hang with that shit.
Well, that's where the dam would start breaking.
Yes.
Totally.
I think even something as small as that. We talk about this stuff all the time on the regular KVJ show. What is cheating? What's not cheating? Would this be considered a deal breaker? And some of the things where people are like, oh, that's not that big of a deal. Massaging is a big one we always talk about. So many people don't think massaging the opposite
I mean, it's
sex.
physical contact.
And people are acting like you're going to a damn masseuse to work on that 9th disc you have. No, you are.
Those are untrained hands.
Yes, you're essentially massaging one each other because it feels good.
I would consider that like a very shady move.
I think it's so shady. I've always thought massages were shady.
If you're in a relationship, I think massages
Yes,
are shady.
that's what I mean. If you're in a
if
serious,
you're trying to lay down that foundation, then I think it's great.
Vicky, you walk into a guy you really are. I mean, you guys been dating for a year. You walk into the room. He's massaging this new psychic named Roxette who's in town. She thinks,
Oh, you had to throw in that psychic twist. Huh?
She seemed
okay.
yeah, she thinks her shit doesn't stink.
She's seen every ghost there is.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's got a story about every.
TV. She's got her own TV
Oh
show.
yeah. At one point back in the '80s, she had a TV show. She was or '90s or whenever.
She was in like an Aztec temple at one point.
Yes. What do you?
I would walk out of the room. That's just me because I have been with a cheater for years.
Okay, that's scenario
So
1 to
it
5.
doesn't do any good to confront because it's like that Shaggy. You know, you just say it wasn't me. So there's no point in me confronting them. I would just simply say have fun and walk out the room.
1 to 5. What is it for you? The massage level.
4.5.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Beckett,
What do you think about this, Beckett?
I think I'm curious on the reaction when I walk in the room by them, and I think that's
Yeah,
That
if they look
changes-
startled,
that changes how
that's
I
rough.
that changes how I interpret.
Totally
the
body
moment.
language.
If they like jump up from the chair and
Oh,
like,
they-
da-
Well, I
da-
mean,
da-
why-
at that point.
a massage is a massage, baby. How does that even?
Yeah, if you walked in and they were cavalier, there was no change in body language, and you asked like, "Hey, what's going on in here?" And
say something big fell from the counter or from the cabinet and like hit her in the shoulder, and he was like, they were both standing up, and like her like thumb was in there trying to like da 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 da.
Okay, all right.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But if they're like,
Yeah.
if she's like laid out on the couch and the oil's out, and they like
Again.
jump up and like throw the oil under the thing, then
yeah.
I'm like way
This-
more pissed.
This scenario I said was the worst case. There's oils a flowing. There is a bra a snapped.
There's
What
like
if a candle?
incense.
A candle's lit.
Oh, candle lit.
It's done. That's breakup material if a
yeah, I mean,
candle's
you would have to break up over that. I would just be like, "This is terrible."
So you would break up with Jen if you walked into your townhouse and she was massaging another. Do
I
candles
mean, that's
lit?
pretty over the.
Okay, I
over the
love
top.
it. I'm with you. I thought I was in the minority on that. I'm glad to hear that I'm not.
Yeah, I think physical contact like that definitely.
I'm interested in hearing what the people say on that.
Yeah.
Because the massage scenario always gets people. I mean, it's always
There is a lot of people think that is
and
not
sometimes
that
it's
bad.
intentional too. Like it just reminds me of like I had a relationship where we were out at Sunfest, we were drinking all day, and we went to the bar at Bradley's, and there was a bunch of people there. It was after Sunfest, and my buddy and I went to use the bathroom, and I gave my girl some cash. Like, hey, grab us a couple beers while we're away. And there's a line at the bathroom. We were gone for 15 minutes. I mean, plenty of time to get a beer. And I come back to the bar, and she's like talking to two dudes.
Beckett's still holding on.
She's got my cash in her hand.
and not even leaning in to like, you know what I mean, to like get the bartender's attention. And I was like, did you get beers? She's like, oh, you know, we could. I'm like,
I was too busy talking to these two hot, awesome dudes.
but we were in a tiff, and she was obviously doing it to make me pissed.
Well, I mean, I told a story last week, and I apologize for repeating myself, but it was my girlfriend at the time. I went to go pee. When I went, there was a long line in the bathroom. I come back, and there's this dude talking to her at our table. He bought her a drink, and she accepted it. And I was just like, oh, hell no. Oh, no way. No. I just thought it was so disrespectful. I would never do that to her.
Right.
So that's why and I think that's where a lot of it comes from. If you feel like you do, whether you're in a relationship or if it's a friend, if someone does something to you that in a million years you in your heart know you would never do to them, I think you become butthurt.
Bitter, yeah.
Yeah, you become upset.
I agree.
You have to be a very evolved person to not let things. And there are people out there like that people screw people over all the time, and like, you know what? It's just the world.
I think you can be mad about it and express anger properly without going too over the top.
It's all about holding on.
Yeah,
I
there's
think.
certain. I mean, you can express emotions. There's nothing against that. I just think you shouldn't hold on to it. You should not let this linger
And I can let
affect
things go
later.
I can let things go, and I can have a conversation about it. It's just that if it's like a reoccurring theme, like maybe not that exact same thing, but it's like
If it's a reoccurring
you had to
thing-
talk about it, and you're like, listen, I think that was pretty obvious not to do, but I'm conveying to you that that's not cool, right?
Yeah.
And then he or she then does something similar, that thing or similar, then that's when it's
Then
like,
you guys aren't gelling, man. It's
Yeah.
just unfortunate that whatever message she's trying to send, it just does not work for you.
How do you deal with anger, Vicky? Do you have a tough time holding on or letting go of things? And if you do you find anger can affect your psychic abilities?
I haven't noticed that it affect. I don't get angry a lot, but in different situations, I'm going to blow up, and I mean really blow up, and I'm going to run at the mouth, blah, 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 and then 2 minutes later, I'm like, okay, I need a glass of water, let's go. You know, I don't hold on to things. There are people that I've certainly learned my lesson with, but there's also that part of me that just holds out hope that one day they're going to change, that they're going to be different. So that's one of the reasons why I don't hold on to it, because I feel like if I hold on to it, they have no chance of changing.
Would you say people who hold on to negative feelings, they have a tendency to attract dark
Yeah.
energies,
'cause it's
even if
negative.
it's not a spirit? I mean, you may
Right.
not see a ghost, but you're acting like, you know, you're just negative. You're nasty. Your mood's nasty.
Oh yeah.
It sounds like a cliche, but really, you're only hurting yourself by holding on to it.
yeah, and it's the opposite of law of attraction.
And it really is your own perspective. For example, if something bad happens to me and I'm struggling with it, only I really know that pain. Vicky, you're not going to know it because you're not going through what I'm going.
Right.
You can sympathize with me if you've gone through something similar, but you're not in my head knowing that. And I think that everyone always thinks what's going on in their head. They expect the entire world
Everybody to know or feel.
and to feel that, and that's just not the way it is, because everyone is struggling with something. I think that's the human condition.
Totally. Well, I mean, like the girl trying to make you jealous, she was obviously internalizing some emotions instead of just telling you about them. She was doing another thing to get your attention again.
Yep,
So, I mean, that's just an unhealthier way of expressing how you feel.
totally.
You just cut out the middleman,
Totally. And you know what I found pisses the person off the most?
ignoring them.
Yep.
That's the best way to do it.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
But
It's tried and true.
and I mean, sometimes it's tougher than others, but I'm pretty good at like the no reaction, and it just drives up the wall.
Ignore them, but sometimes it's tough to ignore.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Then they start escalating.
All right,
the-
let's stop talking about all this love shit. We got an email from Gerard who said, I am ready for the end. I think it's going to happen within the next 5 years. I have food ready and weapons. I have moved up into the woods of California, and I'm ready to go even deeper. I even have an underground shelter. Most people think I'm nuts. I wanted to get your thoughts on doomsday preppers. We are all not crazy. We just want to be prepared. If it's not North Korea who gets us, it will be technology. Love the podcast, guys. Thanks, Gerard from Cali. People are getting ready for the end of days. That's his PS. All right, what do you guys think?
I'm just stoked we have a listener in Cali.
Yeah, we actually we have a few out there in California.
California.
Denny's, I know you're big on
Yeah, well, I've known
end of times.
I have a bunch of friends. Like, all right, so there's like two camps of people. People who are excited for like whatever apocalypse they expect, whether it's a zombie apocalypse or like our money system collapses and everybody has to start all over again.
or war.
Or a war comes over here. There's so many things that could be what you would call, the doomsday. And I think it's cool. I think you should be prepared for it if something does go renegade. But I don't think that there's like an end of times that we should. I don't think it's gonna be like an outbreak of any virus.
So I guess I'm kind of dumb on this subject because what's the woods going to do if it all does go down? Is that just you're hiding out from everything forever? Is that what that is? Eventually, aren't people going to find you, or is it a missile going to get
I'm
you?
sure, but they're underground. They probably lock bunker and
You
stuff
have to stay under a while, right?
for a long time.
That's
Yeah,
what basically so many Twilight Zone episodes are about.
totally. There's a video game Fallout. You go in the shelter after a nuclear attack, and then they come out like some 100 years later, and like the whole world's different.
Could you make it work, Vicky, if you knew that it was all going down and you were going to have to be underground for 50 years?
No, I won't even move up north because the winters are dreary.
So what do you
I can't
do?
live underground for that long.
You just take the missile?
I just whatever happens. I mean, there's things that are that big, and I even learned from when we had those hurricanes. You know, the one when we had the double hurricanes years ago. What it was, '04 or something like that.
Yeah, 0405.
There is nothing that I could have done to have fully prepared myself to be without electricity with 2 small children for 11 days. There's no way I could have stockpiled enough water and food, canned food, and all. I couldn't because I didn't have the resources. So at that point, I realized there's certain things I just can't prepare that well for them.
Okay, all right. So we hear that it's all going down. I send a group text message, guys. I found a bunker out in the woods. We're gonna make it work. I've got room for 5 people. It's gonna be y'all, and then we'll bring Jen. We'll have Angelica. It'll be us
There's our
4.
5.
Yeah, there's our 5. It's the Weird and Whatever podcast. We're gonna be underground for 50 years together. There's gonna be food. There'll be your fancy water bucket. You'll be able to drink that. Do you do it, or do you take sudden death?
So is that how long you want to wait? 50 years?
You're stuck in. Yeah,
All right,
that's
so
the deal.
it vaults for 50 years.
Yeah,
and then
50
it
years.
opens.
We're all stuck together.
Is there a recording studio in there?
There is not. But we can still do the podcast, but it would just be for us.
Okay. Oh, just for us? We can't like pump it out for just in case anyone's out there
Dude,
listening.
there's been bombs.
There's no internet anymore.
People are
You know,
dead.
Denzel could be wild looking
No,
around.
it is utter just. We have no idea what's going on out there for 50 years.
Yeah, if the alternative is death, I'll kick it with you.
Vicky sounds like you're taking death.
I'm taking death because I have family.
Damn, that's
So,
cold.
although I
Damn.
love my Weird and Whatever family, I have children.
Man, podcast has made Vicky cold.
I'd live underground.
I know you would. I think me and you would have a blast
Yeah,
together.
it'd be chill.
Not much would change, really.
We need some hydroponic for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, he would be able to grow. This guy would
We'd
be
have
able
to
grow.
figure out a way.
The end of the world would be he'd still be able to grow weeds
Well,
somehow.
oats, beans, rice, and black lights.
Yeah. I think me and you would be able to make it work.
We'd figure it out.
I would love for all of us to be together, but that would be tough. 50 years in a room no bigger than this studio.
Oh my god!
I
that'd
mean,
be
I'm
so
in my
rough.
prime sexually. I just don't know how like I can,
Well,
like, go like 50 years.
I mean, I'm single, Beckett.
Bird will shave.
I guess it's going to have to be me and you, bud. Let's do a little Would You Rather?
Oh yeah.
Oh, no, you know what I wanted to do? I wanted to ask you guys, I wanted to do a what mythical creature are real or fake? I'm going to go
right.
ahead and say this creature. I'm going to give a little, a little synopsis about the creature. You tell me, is this a real creature or did I make it up?
Okay.
Okay,
and you know the answer, right?
I do.
Okay.
Bunyip. Bunyip, grotesque Australian water spirit that lurks in the swamps and creeks, hunting and hungry for human flesh. Bunyip.
Do we shout out or are we going sequentially?
Let's go, Vicky first. You should know some of these.
I don't know that one.
Is that fake? Did I make that up?
Bunyan.
Bunyip. The bunyip, the grotesque Australian water spirit. Is that a bird? Falsism.
I say fake.
Fake. Mr. Beckett.
Fake.
Denny's.
I say real.
It is real.
Oh, look at
No
that.
It's
way.
in Australia. Yeah, well, I mean, it's
That's
like
a
the
bunyip?
it's like the New Jersey Devil or the Bigfoot, where there's stories, there's tales of it. There's no proof of any of this.
But then that makes it mythical.
Well, I mean, but these are real things that are on the record that are legit.
It's a real mythical.
This is a real
creature.
thing that someone made up.
If you look up the bunyip, there's literature.
it's a
I know, but you can
tale.
actually Google it.
yeah,
is
you
basically
can.
what he's
Yeah, you can
saying.
actually. Why ruin my game, Becky?
So it's Googleable.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a legit creature. The fish woman of Italy. Vicky's face.
I say fake.
I think by the way you said it, it makes
Well-
me think it's fake.
Well, hold on, I'm gonna say.
What, yeah, what are they supposed to?
Okay, she is.
You tried
kno-
to sell us on it.
She is known to eat fishermen all through the coastline of Italy. The victims can sometimes still be heard screaming.
That's fake.
Fake.
But it's in an attack. Like the voices, the victims are "Mamma mia."
Fake.
Fake. You guys are all correct. Very
Oh,
good.
look at that.
Fake
All right.
news.
Fake news. Okay. The Gum Gum Yanso. The Gum Gum Yanso. It is an evil tree woman in Canada. She killed her husband and herself the day of her marriage. She did it on a tree that is now known to have evil powers. In 4 different circumstances, 4 different people have gone missing while looking for the tree. The Gum Gum Yanso.
Real.
Real. Vicky.
Fake.
Fake?
I say that's real.
It was too detailed.
Yeah.
I don't think you would have had that much detail.
Fake as F.
Is
Wow.
it? You wrote all that nonsense?
That was diligent.
That is so fake.
That was diligent.
The Yum Yum Gonzo?
The Dover Demon. The Dover Demon. The Dover Demon is from Massachusetts. It's a gangly creature with glowing eyes. First spotted lurking on a stone wall in 1977.
Real.
Real.
I say it's fake.
It's real.
Is it?
Yeah.
What a
The Dover Demon. Kind of a weak ass
what a
name.
knockoff like
I agree. All right,
creature.
we'll do one more. The cow-faced children of the woods. Children were forced to live as cows long ago, deep in the woods of the 13th century in European times. After they passed on, historians claim their souls took over the woods. Children moos, or kitty cow cries, as the locals call it, can still be heard today. Moo. It is called the cow-faced children of the woods.
Fake.
Real.
he wants that to be real so bad.
Denny's, what is it?
Gosh, it's got to be fake, right?
It's fake.
All right. I was like, you want that to be real so bad.
Oh, I totally do. All right, that one was for me.
That was fun.
Thank you, guys. Here is Dennis. You want to talk about the body atlas?
Oh yeah.
Give
Again,
us that.
I was stumbling upon some things, and this is pretty cool. They just recently did a study here. They invented this thing, I guess, called a body atlas, and it reacts to increased sensations. So if you feel jealousy, or if you feel anger, or you feel embarrassed, your body reacts differently. I don't want to say the word anymore, but
What?
it secretes chemicals in your body that change how you feel. And this graph shows how your body reacts to all these different emotions. Let's see here. I'll hold it up to the camera for you guys to see, but it's pretty cool to see when you feel like sorrow. You almost have no sensation in your body, which I guess you could get the term like when you feel numb about something. It could be that you've lost sensation in your body. And then things that have higher sensations like excitement, or if you're proud, feelings like that, blood is really flowing through your body, and it's really stimulating all of your like extremities.
Like an anxiety, you can feel that differently than you would pleasure.
Well, there's a couple compound ones where it's a mixture of both cold sensations and warm sensations, like sadness, like deep sadness. You still feel a longing in your heart. Your one heart area is still having a sensation, but the rest of your body is numb.
When's the
so
last
there's
time?
still a little hope.
When's the last time you had some deep sadness in your life? Can you even think back
Deep
to
sadness when I was younger.
when you were angsty?
Angsty, teenage years.
Emo?
Sadness. Yeah, I think you feel emotions more profoundly when your body's going through changes.
Oh yeah.
Because your hormones are all over the place. So I feel like that's why you feel so much more. And as you get older, you start
become
losing.
hardened.
you just don't
You
care.
start losing
Hardened.
that wonder.
Don't
yeah.
care.
You do. I think you lose a lot of things. You lose imagination. You
Well,
lose wonderment. You lose excitement.
I think it takes work sometimes. I think it sometimes does. It takes work to get excited about things. I think people do lose the wonderment of just enjoying little small things. And I think when you get caught up in the rat race, you gotta really almost say, hey, let me enjoy the small things. It really is a bunch of small things that make up the whole world.
Well, I think small things is what makes up everybody's mood.
For
I mean,
sure.
if every single day you walk to work and you saw, sad things that affected your whole entire day, you carry that with you every single day. It's gonna make you hard. It's gonna make it hard for you to ever get out of that. You would have to work on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Whereas-
one of my favorite, you're talking about motivational speakers. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Wayne Dyer. Have you ever heard of him?
Yep.
He passed on, very very big spiritual guru, especially in his later works that he had done. But that guy was amazing. Oh, I just have the worst spasm in my neck. I apologize. Hold on. Oh, Denny's.
But motivation.
Denny, really
you,
quick. Yeah.
you want me to pull your arm?
Yeah, really quick. Sorry.
Better not have Jin walk in.
Oh yeah. That's good, Jeffrey. Oh my gosh. Sorry about that. Oh, I apologize. I've been getting terrible Charlie horses in my shoulder area. Not that it was disruptive or anything.
No, I barely noticed
I think
it.
it's all the Coca-Cola.
Probably the Coca-Cola. I've actually been running, so that's probably what it is. It's actually
Really?
me. Yeah, I have been running.
Nice.
So what was I saying about Wayne Dyer? It doesn't matter. Let's move on.
He was spiritual in his later life.
Yeah, I forget the point that I was going with.
Yeah, but that's good to listen to. Like you were talking about motivational speakers earlier. I think it's cool because it allows you to think of things that you know already in a different way.
Right.
I mean, because ultimately, I think if you dig deep down inside yourself, you know what things you want to change. You know what things you wish were different about yourself.
Oh, yeah.
It's very tough to admit them out loud, but like if you make small changes to those things daily, I feel like you can make an improvement on yourself.
That's what I was going to say. Wayne Dyer would say, even at the smallest level of things, if you're struggling with anything in life and your mood is just shitty and you're just depressed, even at just setting up inspirational things in your car, a picture of your loved ones, someone that you admire, a poem, a quote, anything, just when you get in your car, that small little thing can help shift a mood of a million other little decisions you make.
Absolutely.
So then you get out of your car and then you walk to your desk at work, or you wherever you go to work, and then there's a little inspiration section there of your loved ones or someone you admire. You're constantly reminding yourself of something that inspires you, and that philosophy is supposed to help at least help shift your mood towards the positive.
Totally. I actually find it like it's strange how big of a difference is if I'm depressed or if I'm hungover, like things that make me feel better about myself. Like I clean my house, cleaning
That's
my
a big
house, get
thing.
my car washed, get my emails so there's no more red dots on my home screen on my phone.
It feels
it's,
good.
It's amazing the levity that it takes off my shoulders. Like just in terms of doing that.
I can't even chill if the house ain't clean, man. I'll spend 10 minutes and straighten up.
Well, do you find if in your world, Vicky, you having psychic abilities, if you are in a cluttered situation, let's
I
say,
can't even think.
so it does.
Yeah.
It would affect your
Yeah.
abilities, would it not?
Yeah. I cannot think. I cannot function in any kind of environment like that.
I mean, I'll get anxiety if I mean it's not an anxiety attack. It's low lying anxiety,
Right.
but something feels off if it's cluttered, like you guys are talking about.
Yeah,
it really
totally.
something so simple as just picking something up does help.
Totally. It's fix that table, man. It wobbles. It
Right.
bothers you every time you put a drink on it. Just
Oh, I would just throw the table out. I'm
or buy a new one, replace
I'm
it.
not
Like
fixing
why
shit.
deal with that every day? Just
Right.
take a second out of your day and fix that.
I think too, if you procrastinate on something, even something as small as a wobbly table, that really can build a little bit of
Subconsciously, every
sub-
day that's chipping away at you.
It's
Totally.
building even it could possibly be building a little bit of depression, believe it or not.
Yeah.
Would you rather? You guys ready? Vicky, did you have something you want to talk about today? Did you have something on deck?
No, but I have a couple would you rather after yours.
Oh no!
Oh yeah, I wrote some too. I didn't know if we were doing that.
Yeah, because we had talked about that. so.
Screw my would you rather. So-
No.
No, yours
no.
first.
No,
No.
I want to get into what you guys got. You want me to go first?
You go
Yeah.
first.
What would you be more freaked out with? If it started raining human bones with blood, and this lasted for at least 2 weeks, or if all the animals on Earth collectively turned on humans, what freaks you out more? Mentally, what can you deal with? Wow, nothing.
I think I could do
Jeez.
the bones and blood because I know there's an end to it, and then but like with the animals, like I could die and my loved ones could die because if they turn on you,
So you're freaked out more with the
I
animal.
wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't want the animals thing. So I could deal with the bones and the blood for 2 weeks.
Okay, Denny's
Man, animals attacking for 2 weeks, right?
for 2 weeks. They'll both of it for 2 weeks.
Both of 2 weeks.
Yes. Oh, they like
I
when
mean,
you,
I guess you're right, man. Explaining bones falling is like, how do you? What do you?
when
what
you
would that
walk
be?
out to your car, chipmunks, birds, worms, they're all coming at that ass. I mean, they're coming for you. It is not pretty. It is them versus us. Or you look up, I mean, it's nonstop raining bones and blood.
I'd rather have bones and blood, man.
That would freak you out less, huh?
Yeah,
Wow, okay.
animals would be rough.
Beckett
I think bones and blood.
would freak you out more.
I think it would probably freak me out more. Yeah, for sure. I think I'd just go kick it with our boy in California in this little bunker for 2 weeks.
I'm telling
For
you,
real.
it's without a doubt. The bones and blood, I can almost kind of rationally get to a point where animals finally said, screw it.
They're ruining this planet.
Yeah,
we're attacking.
we're turning on humans.
Yeah.
I can at least come to a conclusion on that. If it's raining bones and blood, what
You're
the
like,
shit?
the apocalypse is nigh.
I can't even get a reason behind that. I don't even know how that would even
yeah,
how would that even
you can't
work?
explain it.
You're going outside. There's a torso, a rib cage on the trunk of your car. No. All right. You want to go tit for tat here?
Okay. Would you rather completely lose your voice forever or completely lose your personality forever? You literally are just blank all the time.
That's easy for me.
I'd rather lose my voice.
Lose my voice. Yeah, totally. Yeah, just because
voice.
because if it was the other way, it doesn't even matter if you have a voice or not.
Yeah.
Right.
If you
'cause
lost your
you'd-
personality, you're screwed.
Well, you didn't even have to contemplate that one very long.
That was like an early Jason's one.
I loved it. Yeah, but I mean, mine are over the top crazy.
Yeah.
What else you got, Vicky?
Yeah, do another one.
Okay, this is only for men. Okay.
Sexist.
Would you rather have like a really huge head, like 100-pound head,
Okay.
or very small private parts?
I mean, I already got one of those. Okay, are we talking micro peen? We're
talking
going
micro, like
Like a pinky?
Like you got to take the tweezers.
A pinky? No, dude, it's gonna be way smaller.
Like
than
micro?
We're talking a
like
pinky.
a nub?
Don't judge people. with
Like a
pinky.
hamster foot?
It's got to be like a hamster toe.
All right.
Like, I mean, you can't even flick it.
oh,
It's that
dude.
small.
Oh, God. I guess I'd take an 8-pound head.
And that's a real thing, by the way. I think micropene.
Not like hamster toe.
I don't know, man. I've seen some pictures.
I think it's called clitoris.
Yeah, Daddies, you're dropping.
I'm just
you're dropping
saying.
C-bombs there?
Jason's like, I think I've seen some pictures of it.
I go 8 pound.
All right, 20. What is it? How big a head?
Like a 100-pound
Oh,
head.
100-pound head. I think I'm gonna go penis. Yeah, I'm gonna rock it in other ways. Do I still have feeling in my penis?
Yeah, fine. I'll give you that.
Okay,
cool,
all right.
cool.
I'll take micropene. Yeah,
I think I might go micro P.
yeah, definitely.
Me too. I just rub it on everything.
100-pound head.
I know what it's like to be on the other side of it for 35 years. So
What's that? The micro P?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I become a monk.
You become a monk.
I'd become a monk. I'd garden.
I think I've become try to become like really really spiritual.
Something crazy.
Try to save I don't know other monks. I don't know.
I'll train.
Yeah, I love it.
Jen's gonna be pissed. You think Jen stays with you if you have a micro P?
Yeah, I mean,
think she
don't
would.
know. 100-pound head though is pretty rough too.
But I think Jen does stay. If you
I
told
think she
her
would.
you had Aunt Peen, I think she would be. Well,
You
baby.
can still have kids.
Yeah.
At least you look normal.
And there's other ways to get people off.
Totally.
I mean, I believe if you've got a creative mind.
So you got regular balls.
He's gonna
still,
be a
though?
master
You got
kind of
regular-
linguist.
So all you got's balls.
No, you have 90-year-old balls. So,
So you got balls, but then like a bump.
you got balls for days, and then yeah. All right, Vicky.
How
now
rough-
that question sparked some debate.
It did.
How rough would that be?
I mean, dude, that's what this segment's about. It's
I hear
It's
ya.
about the roughness of it.
hear
I don't do 100-pound head. That's a good one, Vicky. All right. What would you rather do? Be forced to cut off all your toes and fingers and then forced to eat them, or be chained to a wall for 10 years where you can't ever move? They come and they throw you like a little Here's a little water, Beckett, just enough to wet that beak, just enough to keep you alive. What do you pick?
I think I'd lose fingers and toes.
You got to eat all of your fingers and toes. You have to eat them all within an hour,
Yeah, but then it's over.
and no sauce,
No buffalo sauce.
nothing.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going 10 years. That sucks.
That would,
Yeah,
that would
so
suck.
you can't move.
Okay.
I think you go crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, that would. But think about. All right, you got to cut off your. All right.
Yeah, I would lose them, man.
You
Vicky.
can't use them for 10 years anyways.
Vicky,
Are we allowed to get fake ones?
I'll allow it.
Well, that's a no-brainer then.
I get a
But-
Luke Skywalker.
But you
here.
only get 2 fingers. It's both of your middle fingers, and that's it.
Oh, great. That works for me.
What was that?
I get a thumb.
Remember that Nintendo
Yeah, the Power Glove.
Power Glove?
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
You could be
thing.
like Power Glove, dude.
So check. People have been connecting those to MIDI controlled like sequences and computers and stuff, and you can play like songs on them.
How ahead of the time was the Power Glove? That was so
Nintendo's
awesome.
always been known for being innovative. It hasn't always been successful.
Why
with
don't
its
we have Power
innovations.
Gloves now? Like it's crazy.
Well, because now it can see what you're doing. You know, just like
no, but
the
Power Glove was
camera.
something that you could be middle income family and have a Power Glove at your house. Like,
Totally, but now I mean you could buy the new Nintendos.
I remember when
and they have a Power Glove for
Well,
it?
no, but like now it just the other ones captured like all your movements, so it doesn't really need.
I feel
the
like they could do an
glove.
updated Power Glove, and it'd be like Minority Report with Tom Cruise, just like doing all kinds
That
of
would
cool
be
stuff.
awesome to have computers like that. But then everybody can see what you're looking at because the screen is transparent.
Did you have Nintendo, Vicky? The first time
I don't do games.
I remember the first time I got, because we got Nintendo so late. All my friends had Nintendo. I just remember sitting in class, looking at the clock.
Just thinking about
It
it.
was like 10 minutes until the bell would ring, and I remember not believing. I cannot believe I got a Nintendo. I can't believe this shit.
Yep.
It was so. I was so
That
excited.
excitement's gone, man. As you get older, that's what we're talking
No,
about.
I still get excited about shit. I really do.
Do you?
Yeah, I think people
You get
got.
excited
it's
about
just
little,
different
like,
things.
daily
Yeah,
things.
and I just think you have to be open to be excited. It's very easy to get
Be
all
negative.
hardened and say everything sucks. Everybody walking this planet could say this sucks and it's awful. It takes work sometimes to be optimistic. I know that's crazy.
I don't think you should be able to tell somebody that their work sucks unless you are in that profession as well. You know, like what I'm saying? Like if somebody puts a song up, you can say I don't like the song, but to say it sucks, unless you are in the music field, I feel like it's almost like
Well, I mean,
they have no credit to make a statement like that.
easiest thing in the world to do is sit on your ass and tell people they suck and that they're why you've never done anything in your life. People that's never taken a chance, and then you bring
That's
up,
what I'm saying.
You bring up
You're
a
doing it.
song. I'm not even talking about even a song. People who just don't go out and take chances in life and sit back and do nothing but critique and are negative.
Because it's easy.
I mean, shame on you. How dare you?
Yeah, I have a opposite perspective as Denny's. I think that sometimes it should just be the people that want to enjoy the art that should have the opinion. Like, for example, like a lot of times, like experts have a negative opinion of something. Like Siskel and Ebert back in the day, they
Critics.
give like like they're supposedly a movie experts,
But who,
right?
they don't know shit from. They don't know. It's just too.
They start
dudes.
writing a column.
But they're
It's
like they're like the guys that be like Dumb and Dumber is the worst movie ever. Don't waste your money, and everyone in the public's like,
But it's
we're
an
not
opinion.
in the we're not in the movie business, but this movie is awesomely.
That's
It's
why I
an
can't
opinion-based,
stand. I can't
though.
stand critics or experts because they don't know diddly dick because it's just an opinion.
Everybody's opinions
I mean,
are
Siskel
different.
and Ebert, their opinion is just as good as Vicky and Denny's.
Right.
Just because we're experts. You're watching a movie.
Right.
Go f yourself,
Dude,
And I know they're dead, and I apologize. Rest in peace. But the
Right.
overall
Yeah.
towards critics.
Critics the weirdest profession there is, man. Like somebody is creating, like whether they're doing a play, a movie, a song, a painting, whatever they're doing, they're putting it up there because they spent time and they're like, I hope people like this or whatever their goal is. And there's a person that gets paid to literally say what they think about that fiction.
Oh, that's why I can't stand all those singing shows where someone gets up, sings their balls off on stage. I mean, they're really bleeding on stage, and then there's one British person. No, I just did not feel it. What are you talking about? They crushed it.
Yeah,
and
totally.
it's just an opinion of somebody.
Right.
That I mean, the next person could love that song. It's
Totally.
crazy.
And,
critics.
yeah, the opinions too, man, and they're really like affecting people now. Like opinions
yeah.
are held as like credible
Yelp
from
reviews.
anyone.
People go on Yelp reviews just to trash a restaurant because the waitress or waiter was mean to them. The food didn't suck. The restaurant wasn't
Or
awful.
what if they got fired? Or what if they
Yeah.
have an ex there? Like, there's so many factors, and we're taking this as like an actual
Sure.
spoken word from someone.
All right, Vicky, last question here. Do you have any more?
No, I'm out.
You're out? Please come up with more. I enjoyed that.
Okay, I got to get like in a Jason mindset when I do mine.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got two. I got a weird one and then like a legit one.
All right, what do you got? We are now going an hour 10. It's a very
All right. So what you want me to tell it?
I would do.
All right. Which one you want? Weird or like a
Whatever.
legit question? No.
Yeah, let's do weird. Let's do it.
All right. Would you rather live off eating only cats, or live with swapped arms and legs?
Probably eating cats.
That's all you can eat forever.
That's all I can eat. Shit, that man.
Are they already deceased cats? Do I have
Nope.
to
You
kill
gotta
'em?
you gotta go out there.
You
like
know
a
what?
feral animal.
I'll go arms and legs. I'll make it work. I'll just.
So your legs now are protruding where your arms are. And
Yeah.
your arms are now.
I make it work that way. I try to go viral somehow.
I get it.
Yeah, I think I do the same thing. I think nowadays you can turn it into like an interesting angle, and I think you'll find a girl that loves you because you're sweet to the cats.
That's a great point.
It's like a PR
Yeah,
spin.
I can't eat cats. No,
Is that because
I
you
gotta go.
Is that because you hate cats or you love cats?
I love cats. I love
dirty
any.
joke.
I can't kill any animal.
I hear you.
You know, I just can't do it.
Yeah, I'd probably eat cats, man. I wouldn't change my lifestyle too much.
All right, here's
What made you think though?
It did. No, you dropped that mind bomb. All right, last question. Get a weird or whatever tattoo on your entire face, or never have teeth again. I mean, nothing. You're gonna always have nothing but gums till the day you die. When you chew, you better get down on that soup.
Oof.
Weird or whatever. I mean, the tattoo, Vicky, it covers your whole face. It's weird, and then "and" is over your nose, and then whatever's over
Whatever.
your yeah.
As opposed to teeth.
No teeth. No teeth would.
And you can never do
Yeah, that's-
dentures or.
No, I knew you would ask that. Nothing but gums, baby. Yep.
I think I do weird and whatever, and I get it lasered down the road.
You can't get a laser. No, there's never. You can't beat the game, Becky. That's not how this works. You can't weird or whatever tat forever.
I think I go teeth and I wear cover up.
Cover up.
I
What,
just
like you're
rock
in a
no
gang?
teeth, man.
You rock no teeth.
No, not like a gang, like Maybelline.
I'm gonna look like Popeye.
You rock no teeth, Vicky.
That's not. I might have to go for the tat.
I think I might be with Vicky. I think I'm
Yeah.
getting the tat,
it's-
man.
Yeah.
We're
I
gonna have to
can't.
really dial up this podcast. What's
I mean, think about it. You can't chew food. That's
Yeah.
terrible. No, me and Vicky are getting tats.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all. If you guys have anything to plug, anything you want to add on to the podcast, speak now or forever hold your peace.
When's the next karaoke? I was out of town for school on that last
Danny,
one.
do you have the info? Is it Fort Lickadale? Is that the next one?
No, next one will be at West Palm again.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
How far away?
We have Mulligan's next week, so it's the week after next week.
Cool.
Couple weeks. Vicky, we'd love to see you out there again. Vicky, it's becoming a regular out
Yeah,
there.
she was hanging
Yeah,
out.
I just that's my one thing I want to say. I want to thank to everybody who came up to me and said, "Oh, are you Vicky?" And it was like cool to be like a 30-second celebrity.
You're a star,
when I
kid.
was there.
I'll tell you guys a funny story you guys will appreciate. So I was at this bar out in Wellington and sat at the bar for 15 minutes with some friends. We're just getting some happy hour. And the bartender comes up to me. She goes, "Are you a Ryan on Weird and Whatever?" And I go, "Yeah." She goes, I could tell by your laugh.
I think signature, man.
Yeah.
People love it. And so you definitely got to come out though, Vicky, for the next one because we promised the people we would all collectively sing
Sing-
Ghostbusters.
Yep.
Come on. I mean,
Did you promise that?
Oh, yeah.
I just did. We're gonna sing Ghostbusters
He
together.
pinky swore it.
All right, Denny's, play us out. We thank you guys for listening. If you can, like our Instagram. We're going to be putting the Weird and Whatever podcast on the KVJ Facebook page. It'll be on YouTube. We need all the support we can get. Thank you to everyone who's writing in, and thank you to everyone that does contribute a lot of stuff. Thumbelina, our old intern who now has a job, she sends a lot of great stuff into the show as well.
For sure.
So thank you to everybody. We love you all, and Bigfoot is real. Why is it not
I
playing?
guess it just
What
is.
was that? What was that? Aliens living in your town.
Did somehow the pot go down?
I don't know.
You guys sang it. You sing it again.
All right, bye, bye, y'all. We're done.
Why would that not?